slave in the 14th century. Women were not seen as important figures in society. A woman's whole life consisted of marriage, having children, and being in the household. Although marriage was legal from age 12, most peasant women married in their 20s, and those who had money married in their teens. This is because peasants had to stay home and help their family in fields. Some women had sex before marriage, but an abortion would send women to the saw, the spider, or the breast ripper. Before marriage, a betrothal was a ceremony that confirmed a marriage between two people. This was seen as more important than an actual marriage, and it was very legal.
Premarital pregnancy may have been deliberate because children were economically important. The couple wanted to be sure of fertility before entering marriage. Whether rich or poor, male or female, the most important rite of passage for peasant youth was marriage. Did they select their own spouses or accept parents' choices? Church law stressed that for marriage to be valid, both partners must freely consent to it.
If a couple had sex before marriage, then they were considered married.
Most marriages were between men and women of the same village, where the name and residence of a husband is known. Evidence shows that parents led arranging their children's marriages, but if the parents were dead, it fell to the inheriting son.
Abortions were illegal, dangerous, and apparently rare. Women of the lower classes generally breastfed their infants and for a much longer period than in customary today. Breastfeeding decreases the likelihood of pregnancy for the average woman by delaying the resumption of ovulation. By nursing their babies, women limited their fertility and spaced their
exclusion and were co-signed to low status and low paying jobs by a popular and educated culture that supported a patriarchal system that made them out to be biologically and intellectually inferior to men. Since not many women worked at guilds, they were not ensured economic security, and they were not given as many job opportunities as men. With marriage for men postponed, was there any socially acceptable sexual outlet? Research on the southern French province of Languedoc in the 14th and 15th centuries have revealed the establishment of legal houses of prostitution. Prostitution is a socially definable group of women who earn their living primarily or exclusively in the sexual commerce of their bodies. Poor women often use prostitution as a way to earn money so they could eventually become married. When women got married, they most likely quit prostitution. Poverty and male violence drove women into prostitution, which, though denounced by moralists, was accepted as a normal part of the medieval social fabric. In the cities and larger towns where prostitution flourished, public officials passed laws requiring prostitutes to wear a special mark on their clothing, regulated hours of business, forbade women to drag men into their houses, and denied business to women with the burning sickness, also known as gonorrhea.
Most noble women didn't take care of their children. Wet nurses took care of their kids, and the children were not properly fed and often neglected.
Not many women were offered jobs at guilds, but when they were, it was just so the guild could have bragging rights. Many noble women took over the castle when their husbands were away at war. The courts did not exist in the Middle Ages. The church held that a marriage vow could not be dissolved. A vow of marriage consisted of the mutual oral commitment or promise of two parties. Church theologians of today urge that celebrated witness in the church ceremony was less violent. Many couples did not observe the children. Some married in a private way. They made promises before each other without
bride. So what exactly was the role of women in the 14th century?
The role of women in the 14th century was to have children, marry, few were females, some were seamstresses, and some were people to support their family.
Rich women often looked after their castle also when their husbands went away.